Well, welcome to the Simple Podcast, everyone.
Hello,
We've got Simple Minded here, Logan.
and just the both of us just talking about some random bullshit again. I don't have anything prepared. I really should get like into preparing things to talk about. To be honest, I really think I should.
I thought about the same thing, like maybe either if there was a way to share files via like inside the game, like if I could boop you like an image. I mean, I guess we could. It's just harder for me because you have multiple monitors. I'm like inside this headset, so it's
Yeah,
like unless I like send you something beforehand and you do the same, it just seems difficult. But
yeah. I
you know,
mean, plus like both of us like have a very weird schedule. So,
right, right. Well, I think
although
our schedules are normal. It's just we're on the opposite sides of the goddamn planet.
yeah,
So yeah, that's interesting. But
well,
this seems to be fine for now. When we evolve, I guess we'll be ready.
I think yeah. I mean, I could probably now that I have like uni started, but I mean that is not an excuse anymore in my opinion. To be honest. Like now that I only have 2 days of uni during the whole week, so I think I can manage like coming up with a topic to talk about. But I don't know. There's sometimes like I think, oh, I have this topic I want to talk about, then I just forget to document it because I haven't been documenting things in a while, and I just forget
Gotcha.
about it. No, I've been the only thing I've been thinking about like is like mostly what I'm gonna do next because like I'm still not done with the project, but like I told you that before we actually start, so I'm gonna be fully done with it like within the next few days. Like that is for sure. Like I'm at the last few steps. And I'm thinking
Awesome.
like I want to learn something, but I'm not sure what it is. Like I have three things that I'm thinking about, but I'm not sure which one I should go with.
Right.
Two of them, like I know, like well, if I go down the path, and if I get really good at it, it probably just get me shit ton of money if I was really good at it. But
Well,
at the same
yeah.
time, I'm not sure if I would make something like using them. If I could make something that I would just use myself. So one of them for sure. Like I want to go down the path of AI, and I want to like try my own few solutions, like to VR stuff. Not a headset thingy, but like more
Sure.
than like actual controls. Like
Oh, okay.
something to actually take how your body, like how are you standing, for example, or sitting down, and just like feed that to VR chat or something like it. I
Okay.
know I could do that through Steam. Like there's some people who made there's some guy who made like a glove where like it has haptic. I think haptics.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that if you hold an item in VR, like you would have the glove will limit your like hand movement. I would feel like you're actually holding it in real life, which is cool.
Right. The force
Yeah,
feedback. Yeah.
yeah. That is cool, and I kind of actually wanna. When I looked at it, I was like, maybe I could take this and maybe figure a way to make it either smaller or like more efficient, I guess.
Sure. Well, I've seen a bunch of different methods about going about the haptic or the force feedback of
Yeah,
the grip, and they all seem pretty interesting. But you're right, the technology is pretty bulky at this point.
it is very bulky, but I think it can be made smaller. Like just that video is actually pretty cool. So like once I saw that, I was like, I probably gonna go down the path of AI, um, like artificial intelligence, like just use things like. Usually, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, what if we just instead of using shit ton of trackers, we just use cameras around the room, and like those cameras will take like roughly like how your body stance is, and just feed it
Right.
into the
And just
the VR engine.
absolutely. Like it can recognize
Yeah.
a person's body. Sure.
Oh,
Well, because people using the Xbox whatever Connect is
yeah.
sort of similar,
Yeah, it is
but
literally the same idea. It just like takes a rough skeleton shape ish of how like of your body and just feeds it
mhm.
to Steam, and then Steam just feeds it to the game,
Right.
which is cool. Like you can totally do that. I can
And you,
totally
you
do
don't need
that.
to buy a bunch of trackers that cost like $300 each and
Yeah,
all
but
that kind of shit.
I guess like it becomes an issue of like you need to buy cameras and
Right.
are people like fine with that, and you also like you run into the issue that the lighting has to be good.
Right.
And we're not gonna use like infrared cameras because that wouldn't make sense. That would be probably way too expensive.
Right.
That's stupid.
That is one of the things I dislike the
Mhm.
most about my Quest is the fact that I have to have
Yeah,
the lights on to play
yeah. It's
because
weird.
it's so weird because I can't see my actual environment, but it might be, midnight and I'm
Yeah,
gaming or doing whatever and it's like all the lights are on.
yeah.
And it's
That
like this
would
is
be not
so
nice.
weird. It's so weird.
Well, like I mean, I guess if you have a headset on, you really wouldn't really care that much about lights being turned on. Which I'm not sure. Like
Well,
I don't know.
it's like I'm using extra electricity just to just so I can keep my tracking on. I've got to have all the lights on,
I
you
mean, we have
know.
LEDs. They barely use anything compared to any source of light we
That
have now. So
that's not a bad idea. Maybe I should invest in like an LED strip to like put around my play space so I could just use those. That's
not
not bad.
necessarily strips. You can find like LED bulbs. So and these are like really good. So
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, strips
But
though
also,
sounds like more fancy, and I like the idea. I honestly want to
if
try to
I'm
do that with my like with a room.
I'm definitely gonna get that with my camper. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
do some LED strips just because the lights in there are so bright and harsh, and I'm
yeah.
more of like a dim. Yeah, I like my lighting like in the real world, like you like your lighting in VR.
Mm.
You're
Yeah.
like,
I
oh my
like it
god,
dim.
it's too bright. Let's go to sleep and rest. And I'm like, that's I want sleep and rest in the real world.
Yeah, I wish I could do that IRL, but like one of my ideas. Oh shit, I'm speaking very loud into the mic. One of my ideas is just like take that like yeah make an AI like just a simple program like you wouldn't even call it an AI, just like measure how bright it is outside, for example, and just like dim or like brighten the lighting inside of the house, for example,
For
inside of my
sure.
room. That is very easy to do actually. It's just I don't have the
Yeah,
tools. And it would be
sure.
cool like if I could like come up with the right hue, I guess, like
Sure.
right colors, like so that it wouldn't be too bright for your eyes and it wouldn't be also too dim. That would be great. That would be great because I know for
Right.
like I learned one time that during the night, um, like if you want to have an easier time sleeping, it's actually better to have the light sources come in like from much lower than during the day because you know you're used to the sun being up, like because
Right.
of how you evolved, the sun being up and being very bright, lighting everything for you. Like during the night, the moon is not very bright, and it
Right.
probably most of the lighting you got is probably from fire or something like it, and it would be on the
Yep.
ground compared to
Yep.
what we have right now is just lights on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's like impossible to do with LED strips and such.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Yeah,
Well, I've always been very much an indirect lighting sort of
yeah.
person. All like floor lamps that point at the ceiling, so then you basically just get the glow or
Oh
the
yeah,
reflection of the light from the walls, and not like a light bulb like beaming into your
yeah.
eyeball.
That's what I
But
hate
I
about
think
my room.
yeah, like I don't like naked bulbs or anything like that. But I think also my theater background, I like good aesthetic lighting,
Yeah, I mean,
It
yeah,
can really make me and the room look better.
yeah. Again, mostly like my problem is the fact that I'm too broke to even get these things, which they're relatively cheap, and I
Right.
just if I can get my hands on them, I could just start working and testing and do that,
Hmm.
trial and error cycle, and it wouldn't be so hard for me, poke a few holes in the walls and some places and just put some strips and redirect the light from them instead of taking it directly. It's just reflects it on the ceiling, then it comes back and such, or just like put something to dim the amount of lighting that comes, because some of these LEDs are very bright and they don't exactly look nice. So usually
Right.
you
Well,
would
the yeah,
find people like putting,
well, the temperature can be off. If it's
yeah,
like what at 56 whatever Kelvin, 5600 Kelvin, it's really like white light, and then when you get down to like the more like
I didn't know that.
phosphorescent. Well, because like this like lamp
Hmm.
on the is like a yellow light, so that's
Yeah.
going to be like a lower Kelvin.
Oh my
So it's
god.
going to be like a more yellow light. So like you were talking about sun and like equaling the levels of like the outside light to the inside light. There is that, but then there's also color because I hate having like an incandescent light
Yeah.
on inside when it's sunny outside because the yellow of the light is different. I think
Yeah.
maybe it's my photography background too, but the
Yeah,
yellow light
probably.
inside versus the white light outside is like, oh, it's just this weird, I don't know, it just doesn't match.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's light outside, I generally keep the lights off inside because I don't like that mismatch of the light temperature.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
it gets weird, and like I guess some of those lights, if they're bright enough, like they could make everything look yellowish or even yellow. And
Yeah,
it's weird.
absolutely.
Like it's not
Yeah,
really helpful if you're like trying to take a picture of something and you want
right.
the colors to be reflected in the camera instead of, the light's colors.
Right. But if you want it to look warm and cozy, then the yellow, you can use that to your advantage
Oh,
and it's
yellow or orange
perfect.
is perfect, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Although I usually heavily lean more towards like blue slash violet. I really like purplish colors for some reason. For me, they're
Mm.
like way more relaxing.
Well, that's why you like the sleep and rest place
Yeah,
a
I
whole lot
really
because
like
that
it.
place is blue as fuck.
It
I
is very
find,
blue.
well, weirdly, I find blue to be more cold because it is like on
It
the
is.
colder spectrum of like light, but but you're right, it is technically a more soothing color, so there is that weird
Yeah.
like that difference.
I don't know. I find it. I mean, if it's very bright blue, it is like if it is just blue, pure blue, it is very hard on my eyes. So I don't exactly like blue that much, but like purple is like not. I it. I don't think purple can get very bright. Like then I would see it as bluish when it gets really bright. Like always when I work with colors like on the website that I work on, like it's heavy on like the main color is purple, technically speaking, but it's not used everywhere. So
Hmm.
like it has to be dark, and it has to be dark, and it has to be like on a dark-ish background. It doesn't work with
Sure.
bright backgrounds for some reason. Although you'd expect like a dark on light would work much better, but nope, not with purple for some reason. Maybe I'm just bad at choosing the color.
Oh, well, it's probably because of the contrast. Well, so
Hmm.
this might be sort of relevant, but I was watching this thing a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
about why the color blue didn't exist in the ancient world. Because you can read all of these like tomes from like India and Egypt and England and everywhere around the world, and nobody mentions blue. You hear about greens, you hear about like reds, you hear about yellows, you hear about all of these colors, but never about blue. But come to find out, ancient peoples considered hues of blue and purple
Yeah.
to be a version of black. They were just a lighter color of black. So yeah, when you take that purple and you put it like if you have a white background and then you put black or put purple in front of it, yeah, because of that contrast, your eye perceives it as the ancients would have as black,
Yeah.
which totally makes sense, weirdly.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you cannot just overwrite, thousands of years of evolutions like in few years. That is, it just doesn't work. You have to do it through generations and probably very long amount of time.
Right. Right. And some things are just more delicate. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite cheeses is baby Swiss. It's an American cheese, but it has holes anyway. But it's such a light, delicate flavor.
Mm.
If you put it with something else, you miss it completely, you know? So it's
Mm.
like you gotta eat bland things for the flavor of the baby Swiss to come
Yeah.
out. And just sometimes colors are like that.
I guess you just need to like. It doesn't work as the main thing, I guess. Like it works as a secondary, but it stands. It somewhat stands out, but like not completely. Something like that.
Right. Right.
And I think, I mean, like what stands out in my, I think, design is actually not the purple. It's mostly the gray because I'm heavy on the gray and black.
Okay.
Because I want um, like let's say white text on a black background because I guess that's just easier for me to look at.
Sure.
Because after a while of
I
reading stuff on a white background, it's just that's too bright, man.
I
I need
totally agree.
yeah, I need to look
Yeah.
at something like darker. I was
Yeah,
like,
like
yeah,
the
sure.
fact that apps have started integrating like dark or night modes is
Yeah.
fantastic. I love the night modes.
I kind of
Um,
hate the stigma of like, oh, edgy boy, you're just using a dark mode. It's like, no, my eyes hurt after a while. I use that for too
yeah.
long.
Well, I have like an old Kindle, and that was before they were backlit and it had that electronic ink paper. So you would literally have to, when you're holding your little tablet, you would need an external light source to shine on the screen, just like you were reading a real book. And I loved that because, yeah, if you stared at people reading books on iPads and shit, I'm like, how are you doing that? Like your eyes
Oh, it
and the
hurts.
glare, if you're in the sun, is absolutely ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
the Kindle ink technology is just awesome
Yeah,
still.
I think yeah, the ones where like they depend on light coming from outside instead of coming from the back. I guess it's actually
Mhm.
much better if you're gonna use that screen for too long. Although the problem is you just cannot use it everywhere because
Right,
it doesn't have its own source of light.
right.
But it's
Just
cool
like a
if you want to
book.
read. Yeah, it is a book.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
kind of wish you could do that with like I guess modern monitors, but I think that would be that's just basically impossible. It's just asking too
Right.
much, which is also it doesn't make sense to be honest. Why would you want a screen that has two has two ways of lighting itself up or like not lighting itself up? I
Or
guess.
not.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what do you turn the light off? Like that doesn't work. That it wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, back in the day, we used to have cameras and calculators and like all these other devices, but now we just have
You have
smartphones.
smartphone.
So eventually, maybe the monitors will integrate both sets of technology seamlessly.
Or maybe they just like get something that can get really bright and really dim, I guess.
Mhm.
Because like, it's very hard apparently to I don't know why to be honest. I'm not very invested into the monitor stuff, but I know that it is very hard to make a monitor like go from really bright to really dim for whatever reason. It's probably just because of I mean I don't know maybe because it cannot really regulate the electricity that goes from it, or maybe just the LEDs like it's just hard to design to be to light
Yeah, I mean,
like
who
give it
knows?
very dim light.
Well,
Because I
because
mean,
I have one of these super duper like color accurate monitors,
yeah,
like a BenQ something or other, and apparently that's a big deal too. Just making like color matching, like so when I
oh yeah,
see orange, this particular orange, like in real life, when I see it on my monitor, it's supposed to be exactly, and apparently that's a big deal. It's hard to do. So,
yeah. Hopefully, I mean, yeah, something will eventually come out that is much better. I mean, that's just how things are. And it's
you could
cool. I
just
kind of hope for things to come
E-
out.
Elon will just put a chip in your brain, and we could just upload the words right into your brain.
Oh
We don't
fuck
need a
no!
goddamn
I'm
monitor.
not putting a chip in my ass or brain. I don't want that. I don't want that. I think that's not something for me. On the off chance that some crazy dumbass might hack that chip and make me act like a fucking weird ass psychopath.
Yep.
Just because that chance exists, I think it's a good enough reason for me not to fuck with it.
Yeah,
Because you
I
never
feel
know.
exactly the same. Yep.
It's cool technology though. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's very cool. But I guess at that point, if that chip can control you, I guess it fucks with of your idea of free will. I guess just as soon as
Hmm.
you have it, something like that wouldn't exactly work very well with the idea of free will. I guess.
It would be so interesting. Like if people did have chips and you could control them with the
Yeah.
chips and you had the control, I don't even know what that would be like.
I think you would end up with like a weird god complex.
Oh,
I don't know.
absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone will do whatever you say. It doesn't matter why.
It's like, well, I know you're not a big TV show person, and I'm not a big Marvel person, but there was a Netflix Marvel show called Jessica Jones, I want to say it was called. And she's like kind of a superhero, kind of, it was a very detective, hard boiled. And I think that's why I liked it. I like detective stories. But David Tennant, one of the guys that played Doctor Who, was the bad guy. And his power was mind control. And he could make people do anything that he wanted. And it was so interesting because he's such a great actor and he was so terrifying. But
Yeah.
what was crazy about it is he gets to this point in the evolution of his character where he's just like, I got to the point where I could make people do whatever they want. And, he would have like sex and people would do all these like sick and perverse things. But after a while, he's just like, I got bored of it. So
Yeah.
then the things that he has people do just get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And oh my God. And that's totally how it would be. Like, it's
I,
terrifying.
yeah, that kind of reminds me of the whole idea, and I think that I got that from like you telling me about Alan Watts. Is like
Mm,
sometimes you don't exactly want to actually get what you want like at the moment. Like imagine if you were God and you just get everything you want. Like at you know maybe take a total of a month to get everything you want. Eventually you just get bored and you're just like gonna try to make things randomize itself at some point. You don't want to have the control.
mm-mm.
And like
Nope.
yeah, you probably you may actually find out that the way you want things happen is just the way that things already have been happening the whole time.
Right. And since so much of our identity or our psychology is based on the
Yeah.
things that we want, not necessarily the things that we already have, um, yeah, if you have everything that you want, it's almost like you're no longer alive because if you don't want anything beyond that, then you're dead. So
Yeah,
yeah, then you just keep, more,
yeah, I think
crazier,
things get more
crazier.
extreme. Yeah, extreme and just like it's gonna like what do you call it? You will not really appreciate the things that you would have, and you just want
Mm,
things to be more extreme because you already got everything to this
mm-hmm.
point. You don't have to work so much for it, and you just want more, and you just like go for more extreme stuff, and it's like that is the weird thing where like I think I'm not sure if that's true, but like where the Romans would have like women thrown into like an arena like Colosseum and would like let animals just fucking kill them or something, or let knights kill them or something, just for
Sure.
entertainment because like probably people then had everything they wanted, and
Yep.
it just wasn't it wasn't hitting that I guess like that dopamine I guess wasn't hitting as powerful because you're more resistant to it. I'm not sure how it works really in your brain.
Same.
And
Or sort of like the whole Epstein thing, like this billionaire class of people that literally can have anything they want.
but
So yeah,
they're bored out
just
of their minds.
going to the mall is like no big deal. But what do they want now? It's like, oh, well, we need to like fuck kids. Like
Yeah,
the only
which
thing
is
that's going to get our
fucking
rocks off
weird.
now is to have this power over other human beings. And I think that's where it all kind of comes from, is like once material possessions no longer satisfy, then it becomes about power. Theoretically, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you're probably right, but well, not. Yeah, well, I guess once you get everything, because like, if you, imagine if you like someone who's like really rich, and let's say you're probably also really good looking, for example. Regardless if you're a guy or a girl, if like first of all you would have like you would easily be able to have anyone, let's say, as your spouse, like probably
Mhm.
instantly, and that eventually will wear out. For example, that would be the first thing. Then you'll probably be able to go anywhere in the world and do anything, and that will wear out eventually because you're just gonna go like crazy doing it. You don't really have to work for anything because like you're gonna probably get anything almost instantly. And like eventually things have to get more and more extreme and I guess more hardcore, that you will just devolve into just a fucking mindless creature, I guess, that doing anything. I guess that how you would end up eventually with, let's
Yeah.
say,
I mean,
abusing people
this is
and like using your
well,
power for bad.
this is an extreme and perhaps ridiculous example, but like take Elon Musk. He's so fucking rich, maybe he's just like, oh, I don't even want to go to Paris anymore. You know what? I got to go to Mars.
Yeah, maybe. Who the fuck knows? It
You
probably
know,
is.
like,
I mean, to be having a having a beverage real quick. I see. But I mean,
yeah,
that's all right. I mean, I guess yeah, it's like the fact that like at the position he's at, is like he can have everything. I mean, no wonder he just goes around doing crazy shit like that is technically no one else is trying to do it. Well, also, I mean,
yeah,
not to be honest, I don't think most of his projects are successful yet. Like, not even his car, like the Tesla cars and such. I think they're fucking up really bad, but maybe if they keep going at it, things will get better, hopefully. But I think that's
yeah.
what
We just
holding
had
him
a
from being crazy in one way or another.
well, but
Because
that's
he
the
has
thing
to work
about
on
being a
these things, like,
billionaire. You can afford to fail.
yeah, yeah.
If I have an upstart business, if it fails, I'm fucked.
Oh, yeah, you're
You know, but
probably just stuck to wherever point
yeah,
you're at.
well,
And
that
it
was
could
it.
be the
Okay,
bottom.
well,
I'm fucked.
right.
Let me go
But
find a
you know,
job now.
he can do whatever the hell he wants and fail over and over and over again. It's not going to matter.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it keeps him busy from, not doing anything and eventually going crazy. So I think, like, yeah, if you don't have really anything to do, that is, like, I think fulfilling, like, I kind of hate the word, but I guess fulfilling, like, in terms of, it uses your time, because time is precious, but if you if you don't put anything to, you don't put it in use, it's just almost worthless.
Why do you hate the word fulfilling?
I'm not sure what, like, it's like there's an, I don't want to imagine it as, a cup and then you fill it with something. I don't think fulfilling is the word, but I'm not
Uh,
sure what other word I can
s-
use.
that's interesting. Well, because you're taking the English words fulfilling and sort of taking them from like an I guess like an object like like you talking about filling a cup. It's
Yeah,
very interesting. I've never thought about it in that way.
yeah. So
But
maybe
you're
it's
right.
just a language barrier.
The words
Barrier.
really do put it in that. But you're right.
Well, maybe it's not. Yeah, it's not a fulfilling. It's actually more like, I think what
I
you
think
do is actually you're emptying the cup more than actually fulfilling it, because you got all that energy and you want to do something with it, and instead of doing something degenerate, you just like put that energy into something, you know, maybe it could be art, it could be, engineering, it could be anything. It's
Sure.
just at
I guess
least not
I
hurt other
tend to
people.
think of it, and I think you're absolutely right. It does kind of depend on what perspective you're looking at it from, I suppose. I'll use this as an example since we're talking about
Yeah,
like cups, but I know you're not like into like dumb mysticism, but in the
that's all
tarot
right.
deck, there's this card called the Ace of Cups,
Yeah,
and the way they talk about water. Like you have like wands, swords, cups, and coins,
yeah,
and water is emotion,
mm,
and the Ace of Cups is the number one of cups. So it's like the beginning. You have 1 through 10,
mm,
and then so you start at one, and then you go through the progression. But the Ace of Cups is the beginning of emotion, and the Ace of Cups it's generally shown with like a cup or a chalice that's just overflowing with water. Like it's
yeah,
so full that
yeah,
it just spills out over the edges. And that's what like first love or a first crush or something. And so if I think about like my soul as the cup
yeah,
or the vessel, when it is full and it's overflowing, then you have that abundance to where you can
yeah,
fill other things up with the excess and you yourself remain full. Whereas if you're not full and overflowing, you don't have enough to spare because you'll empty your own glass, if that
yeah,
makes any sense. That's how I perceive it, that
mm,
whole thing, I guess. I love fulfillment and feeling fulfilled and having an abundance to, you know, give to others.
mm. Because
Oh,
I
this
think.
glass is driving me crazy. There we go.
I guess I mean the way I look at it, like the only reason I say like it's mostly emptying, because I guess you know again it's just kind of like things that you want to do, energy to do things. You don't see tired, like really tired people doing something crazy. To be honest, I don't think
No, not at
I
all.
don't think really you do that. I mean,
Well,
unless they
that's
have
why my
people to do it for them and they're really bored.
yep, yep, really bored.
Yeah,
And that's why a lot of like older people or poor people will fill their days with washing the car and shining their shoes and
yeah.
doing just like what I think of as like dumb shit. But yeah, they're
They probably
bored
just don't
and they
have the
might as
energy.
well.
They just don't have
Right,
enough energy to do like the crazy shit because they've probably been doing other stuff when they had
right.
the energy for it.
Or
I
like the creativity and the funds to do crazy shit. So all you can
Yeah.
really do is
I mean,
shine your fucking shoes and wash the car.
you probably could find like old people that can do like creative things that relatively don't take a lot of physical, let's say, effort, but like probably needs a lot of, for example, experience and such.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Like, I- I'm not sure if I'm right, but I don't think things like, let's say, I guess drawing or painting would take a lot of physical effort, but it's like, to be very precise and very accurate with what you drawing would probably be very hard to master. And even though like it
Oh,
doesn't
absolutely.
exactly use a lot of physical effort, it probably needs a lot of experience and things that you have learned over the time. I think they
Right.
probably like people who are into that will probably keep doing that forever
Oh,
because
oh,
it's
sure.
relatively less exhausting than, let's say, working with cars, for example. Or
And you're right. But like you say, you would have to have accumulated that knowledge and
yeah,
experience over a long amount of time for it to be worth the expense because canvas and brushes and paints aren't cheap.
yeah, they're not.
So, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Well, I guess I'm just going to join a bowling league,
Yeah,
or I'm just going to sit and watch sports on TV because they're always on. So, dumb idiots always have things. Not that people that watch sports are dumb idiots, but they always have something that they can engage in and have a conversation at work about because it's just there.
less exhausting, I guess. Yeah, and well, it occupies their time, and they have
Yes, and,
something to do.
and their mind. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, and I think like once you end up with people who really don't do anything and don't have to do anything, they at least they don't think they have to do anything. You'll end up with crazy people, like really fucked up crazy people. Will probably do some weird shit, like the whole. What was the example he gives? Like people like who eventually get into child pornography or something like that. It doesn't have to be child pornography. It could be just if you're addicted to
But
porn, which I in one way
that's
or
the
another,
acceleration. Yeah,
yeah,
we were just talking exactly. Yeah, it just
like
gets
you get
worse and
into
worse and
more and
worse.
more weird shit. And I think like
Hmm.
I would call myself an addict to be honest when it comes to porn, but I don't think I'm honest. All right, shut up. It's funny. I know it is funny, but I'm still trying to get my head around working against it. But I mean, I realize that, but like, I guess what the more you keep that going, the weirder the things that you're gonna look into is gonna be because eventually, like the thing that you liked initially at the beginning will just
Right.
stop working. And I did notice that like over the past few years, well, like when it started, how it was and how it is now. I'm like, yeah, it is an issue, so I need to deal with that.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better because I don't know why. I'm a disgusting pervert. But the other day I
Yeah.
was thinking about you, and then I was just like, and then I
uh,
Googled, what did I Google? I Googled Islamic pussy. And then I found all these like pictures of like,
what the fuck, man?
bitches with like a hijab on, and then like, and then they're like flashing their pussy and stuff. And then I almost sent one to you just because I was amused and I'm a disgusting pervert. But then
Oh
I was like,
god, you
oh,
bastard! I'm glad you didn't.
I'll just not send it, because I feel like you're into white chicks anyway. I don't know why, but
uh, I
so
don't
then I
like
was
white
just like,
people that
what?
much.
Oh, okay. Well, that just makes you want to fuck those white bitches really hard then. And it's just, fuck you, bitch.
No, I'm not. I'm not into that.
I
But
want to fuck a bitch with a hijab.
see, see,
Hmm.
I think yeah,
Yep.
you're
Yep.
getting into the weird territory, and I guess yeah, I need to be aware of that.
Well,
And
well, the thing is like I used to work at this restaurant,
uh,
and there used to be these like like Islamic chicks that would come in there, and they were always like really
Muslims.
wealthy, and they would like be
Oh yeah,
FaceTiming other people on their iPhones and
depends
shit,
where
and I
they're from.
hated them. And
Yeah,
I was
some of
like,
them
I
are
hate you
fucking
bitches.
cunts.
And I want to fuck all of you. Hmm. Just because just to say that I did. No, leave the
Hold on,
hijab on,
give
bitch.
me a second. Man. Oh, okay. That's just. I thought someone was at the door. No, but my bad.
Oh,
Okay.
no, you're good.
No, but okay.
I don't want your mom to hear me talking about fucking bitches and
Oh,
hijabs.
don't worry. I have my headset on. I definitely do not.
Oh, good. Hi, mom. You
uh,
wearing your hijab today? Sorry about that.
for fuck's sake, you bastard. That's not how it works. I like how you almost clueless. And it makes it even funnier for me. It's more amusing.
I'm glad to be a source of amusement for you.
I, it's alright. It's alright. I like it. It's funny. Maybe I don't know. I mean, yeah, but I think you probably need to be a little bit more aware of it now. Just keep an eye
Oh,
on that. Just keep an eye and make sure
oh,
that
well,
no,
I
you
mean,
don't go too crazy.
oh, I don't go too crazy. I mean, that was years ago, but it just I like giving you shit about shit like that and making you feel uncomfortable. So that's all that really
It does
was. It
make me
was
a little bit uncomfortable, but I learned to actually like when that happens, just go with it because it actually makes better. Like
you
apparently, it works better socially.
you make people feel uncomfortable all the time.
I do. I will not all the time,
You
but a
l-
lot.
you love that shit.
I love it. Yeah.
So
I
so yeah.
see. the thing is, it's like I think that's just I learned that like through years of being an idiot, being bullied all the time, and it's like
Yeah.
once you go with it, you know, it works on your favor. It just does 99% of the time. Rarely that it doesn't.
Well, I agree.
It's
It's like
funny.
that whole you choose how to react. So yeah, like you can get all butthurt about it and be irritated by everything, or you can have a laugh about it and then move on with your day. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Because I
just
feel like
funny
for
in
the
that way.
majority of my life, I've had a lot of female friends. And I think I kind of have, I don't know, I feel like I've been more in touch with my masculinity in the past like couple years because I've been around less women, or at least I've been around less women in like a friendly way. Like
Yeah.
I'm around women at work and whatever, but I'm not like let's hang out or whatever. It's like we're either gonna hang out and like have fun and like fuck, or we're not gonna hang out at all, right? So then in that way, I feel like I hang out with more men just in like a hangout fashion.
Oh, you there, Logan?
Sorry, my headset, I plugged my headset in and then I went into pass through mode, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so then now I've been hanging out with a lot more dudes. And, all we do is rib each other and give each other shit, and
And it's fun.
sometimes it's, yeah. And it's usually honest. And sometimes it's mean spirited a little bit, but it's all in good humor. But I like being honest with I like being honest with people in a funny way. And I like them being
Yeah.
honest with me in a funny way. And we can all joke about it, we're all fine. Whereas the women will just lie to each other and blow smoke up everybody's asses, and then nobody knows where anybody stands, and that
Yeah.
shit's just obnoxious.
It's
Like
weird. It's one of the
if
things
people
that
are
for
no,
me that are
go ahead.
very hard to understand. Like that is one of the things that I just could not find a reason for. Like I'm not saying that is a thing always in every case, but it definitely is a it's a stereotype, and it's a stereotype for a reason.
Right,
Yeah, it's not our fault. It's kind of their fault. But that's one of the things that I never really understood. Like why why do you want to? I think maybe they care about how people feel about what they say. Maybe that's why. Like
right. I
because
think
they
it all
do.
comes down to feelings, whether it's ours or theirs. Yeah,
Yeah, which I mean I understand. To be honest, like the last 2 years have been very heavy in like on the emotional side, which was weird to me, to be honest.
sure.
Like I'm not saying like I kind of had my, I guess, weird version of being not really like kind of depressed. I guess I don't have a better word for it, but I've been very unmotivated. You don't do anything during the day and you feel shit about yourself. But like, you're not. I'm not
Right,
heavy on the feelings because I was trying to do things more. Eventually
right.
I just try to do things more. But like the past 2 years, or at least the past year, was like weirdly emotional. I guess, and I didn't like it. I don't like it
Right.
at all.
Well, I've heard a lot of rhetoric talking about even whether you're in like a two parent family,
Mm.
we're basically like a whole like I think like two or three generations now are basically have been raised by women.
Oh yeah.
Like all so
Well,
it's like
in the
even
West, I
me like
guess.
well in the West, but like I had a mom and a dad, but
Yeah.
my dad was a provider and my mother basically raised everyone. And then of course all of my teachers in school were women, and it was like sit down Johnny, like be like Johnny, like do all of this kind of shit. And
Oh, I
honestly,
got my ass kicked.
I've been an emotional person like you were talking about, but then
Yeah.
like I said, now that I've sort of surrounded myself with men more, I feel like I've detached from that, and I'm wondering, did my being raised with like a sister and a mother and all my teachers and the nuns that were teachers, did they feminize me in a way to where I
Yeah,
was
definitely.
more emotional than I needed to be? I didn't know how to deal or cope, whatever people
Yeah.
call it nowadays. Um, And it wasn't until I was able to just kind of get away from that shit. And it's like, why
Yeah.
am I reacting like this? I'm literally being a bitch.
Well, yeah, yeah. I think that's what happened to me. Like in between the like, I guess ages of 5. No, no. I think 9 and actually no, maybe in between the ages of 9 and like 14. I was more into like similar to what you said. Was more that kind of person, but then I changed like to be more of a fuck it, whatever, just do whatever, just try to find something to do and do it.
Be a man.
And yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You just
Yep.
deal with it. Eventually
Do
it'll
it.
get better. Now it's
Hmm.
shit. It's probably gonna get better eventually. Just ignore whatever the hell is annoying you,
Right.
and try to get a little bit tougher, I guess.
Hmm.
Which is like something I actually need to go back into trying, well, at least physically. And like when I guess like the past 2 years, it's like get back to what it used to be when I was a teenager, like those years, like in between 5 and 14 or like 15. Well, like I was for some reason just not feeling good, and just because I wasn't feeling good, I just didn't do things and sitting down and being useless,
Right.
which I again I still didn't enjoy it.
Well, of course
I'm
not.
trying to lean like away from it because well, if I'm gonna
And I,
if I'm gonna stay like that, I'm gonna end up not learning anything, not being being useless to myself, and just being fucking destroyed by the world. Because eventually
right. Right.
things
And I
will
think that
catch up.
demotivation that you talk about is totally natural. I mean,
Hmm.
that's like basic black pill shit, right? Even if you knew it was a black pill or not.
Hmm.
It was just like, okay, well, here we go. What's the fucking point? And that totally makes sense. But
Yeah,
being able to come out of it, that's huge.
I'm not sure.
I,
I cannot say that I came out of it. At that
I'm not
point,
saying that you did either,
but it
but
would be
uh,
cool if I could.
the effort, because I feel like I went through that and I feel like I'm still red and black pilled. I guess
Hmm.
it turns into the black pill, but I'm okay. Like I honestly, I've gotten to the point where I love knowing what I know and having experienced what I experienced because I'm just like, cool.
Yeah.
And now I feel free. I love it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think.
And yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, so this, I guess I really haven't articulated this before. So, uh, forgive me if this isn't like the most articulate thing I've ever said,
That's
but
alright.
I feel
It's a simple podcast. No
liberated.
one gives a shit.
Right on, right on, right on. But no, I feel liberated. Like whether it's about male nature or women's nature or
Hmm.
nature of the economy. Like there's things that I can do, there's things that I can't do, there's things that I can control, there's things that I can't control. And when I can't control shit, it's just like, well, why am I going to be? I can't get upset about it anymore.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, the world should be like this, or people should behave like this. And then I get all crazy about it, and I feel butthurt, and I feel
Yeah.
offended, and I feel attacked, or ignored, or invisible, or whatever. And I'm just like, ah. And then I'm just like, wait a second, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. How much does it matter really?
Right. And then when I realize, oh, we're all just a bunch of animals, we're all running these programs, everybody's just fucking each other to do this, everybody's getting the money and the jobs to get this, like everybody's like on a mission to do a thing. And it's just like, why am I so worried about how I fit into their life mission or how I fit into their bullshit? Like I need to get my shit going
Yeah.
on. And and I want everybody else to worry about how I feel about them instead of how they feel about me.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I can't control how they feel or what they think. So why am I gonna stress out about it? It's such a waste. And I wasted so much of my life worrying about that shit. Now it's just like, oh, I don't give a fuck.
That's amazing.
And
Yeah.
honest, and I feel like all the relationships that I've been forming since I stopped giving a fuck, uh, within a degree, right?
Yeah.
They're all more honest and genuine and
Oh
like
yeah.
upfront.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love it.
It's
I know
much
who I'm
better.
talking to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. because they're guys, they're not gonna lie to you.
Right. Unless they're bitches.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, someone's gonna hate me for that, and I know who that one is. When they watch it, they're gonna probably gonna say something.
Uh,
They're probably gonna say something. I'm
and
just
you're not
joking.
gonna give a fuck.
I'm gonna laugh at it. I'm gonna
There
be
you
honest.
go.
I'm gonna laugh at it. Uh, I'm not saying I'm not saying that girls are liars, but I'm just saying stereotypes exist for a reason.
Right.
Some of them are
Right.
not. Some of them are not. But I mean, again, few and far between.
Well, everybody lies.
Yeah,
It's just, what are you lying about?
it's kind of hard to not do. Like, I try my best not to do that, but like, I might end up like just doing it because I just want the I guess the what do you call it? Like when over like the low period of time, like very small period of time reward, I guess, over
Sure.
the very long period of time, more sustainable gain, I guess,
Yeah, I think
which
I
which is
either,
shit.
if I lie, it's usually to protect myself or others.
Yeah,
Or it's so pointless that I don't care that it doesn't even matter. Like
yeah.
if
You
I'm at
care about
work,
the like the short term, or like on the long term. Like again, if lies are not exactly a good way to go around things because yeah, I mean, you're eventually just gonna run out of lies.
right. Like I'm not like I don't have like webs of lies. Cuz that's why I'm not a liar, like a
Yeah.
liar because I can't keep track of that shit. I can't keep track
Oh
of,
yeah,
oh,
definitely.
what lie did I say to this person and this person and this person? Then I got to keep everybody separated so I don't get tangled up in it. It's like fuck all that shit. But if I'm at work and somebody's just like,
Yeah.
who, I don't know, fucking used all the toilet paper and didn't replace the roll, and it was me, I'm not going to admit it because I just don't give a fuck, And I guess I
Yeah.
lied by omission, but like I just don't care because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I mean when I was young, like the only reason I like mostly well when I was younger, for the audience before they get mad, when I was younger, I was like, didn't lie because everyone told me that lying is bad. I'm like, fine, lying is bad. I'm not gonna do it as much as I could. And as I grew up, I was like, oh, I see how bad things can get when you just keep on lying. Like even if things get very good for you on the like for a long amount of time, eventually you're gonna be found out, and things are gonna get worse the longer it takes.
Yep. I had a friend who was would
Oh,
call like a pathological,
oh, Logan,
and
I think
oh,
yeah,
is
yeah.
yeah,
Say
your
something.
audio is getting all fucked
No, no, you kind of you starting to lag again. Yeah, yeah, I can see that and I can hear it. Like,
into. Let's pause and then we were talking about lying and
yeah,
liars, but yeah, so I just had a family member that lied a lot when I was younger, and so yeah, once you doubt everything that they say, it's like, well, I don't even want to fucking lie at all because if that's what's going to happen to
yeah.
me, fuck that. Yeah, I
It's
get
like
it.
there's always the easy, like really easy question if you think about it. It's like you want to be known as a drug dealer or as a liar, and like even if you look at it in like when drug dealer is probably the worst, one of the worst, reputation you could have. A liar is
Right.
still is worse.
Right. And it's weird too because a lot of people will lie just to like uh save optics,
I guess so.
like,
Fit in
oh,
sometimes.
I don't I don't want them to know this about me, and I want it's almost like you're trying to control, like what we were just talking about. It's like you're trying to control how people think or feel about you.
Yeah,
So when you start to lie to shape the way someone thinks about you, because you don't want them to think negatively about you,
yeah.
fine, I guess.
Th-
But when they find out that you lied, then
Yeah,
they're gonna have a negative opinion about you anyway. So it's
all the
like you just
time.
shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What if you start believe what you lie, like your own lies?
Oh,
Well,
that's when
that
you get
totally could
that's when you get
happen.
crazy.
That is very easy to
Oh yeah.
happen.
You believe your own lies. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be, I guess, like that's it for you. you just you're just dead. You're not gonna have an easy time at all.
Well, I think that's when I think that's considered when you just start lying to yourself, and then, oh, okay, well, I am this person. I am this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am. I'm not
Well,
a slut.
oh yeah, yeah.
I've
And
only
like
had sex with 500 people.
on the first time we met, I guess. But yeah, I think that is the problem. It's like, what if you just lie to yourself because you don't want to believe that? It's like the whole "I'm a good person" issue. It's
Right.
like, no, you're not. You're just as guilty and fucked up as everyone else is in here. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you don't have. I mean, it's okay if you don't answer a few questions because privacy. You get to keep things private, and that is understandable. You know, you just tell
Yeah.
people I don't want to tell you, and fill the blank. You know, for
Absolutely.
whatever reason. I mean, maybe you don't want to even give a reason. Sometimes you don't really need to give a reason to why you
No,
don't
not
want
at
to tell
all.
people anything.
Right.
I mean, unless you're in a court and someone is gonna convict you of a crime.
Well,
I think it
sure.
wouldn't work. I think that the judge will not exactly, like
Right.
that
Or you're
reasoning.
talking to your wife or your husband, and you need an honest answer so they could
Yeah,
make like informed decisions. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like in these kind of relationships, like literally, trust is the most important thing you have. Like trust and respect at the same time. It's like these are
Hmm.
the most two important. Not like feeling towards each other because you're not gonna love each other the whole fucking time. You're gonna be disappointed and annoyed at each other more than the other way around. And that's just how things are. That's the
Right.
same thing with like even you and your friends. Sometimes you're just more disappointed at them and more annoyed at them because they're being assholes to you the whole time. But I guess
Yep.
what makes it work is the fact that you both can be shitty to each other. So you both respect each other more than like each other, and you
Fair.
also both trust each other more than that.
And I think there is, and I know we use the word pandemic a lot, I feel like, but there is sort of like a pandemic of feelings. Like everything is feelings.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
people aren't feeling it, it's like not a thing. And it's like, no, I think you are, people are taking way too much stock
People are being
in
little
what they
bitches,
feel.
and
Exactly.
again, I've been guilty of that for like the past at least 1 or 2 years.
Same.
Like
Same.
I'm noticing. I'm like, yeah, that's not good for me. I'm just gonna
Right.
push through, which is again, it's a very hard process to unlearn that. Just
Exactly.
push
It
through
is.
and do whatever, do the things that I need to do.
It's
But
hard. And a lot of people don't want to do the hard stuff.
yeah, but I found it more rewarding when I just kind of pushed through it anyways, because
Hmm.
I became something better than just not feeling alright. Yeah, maybe I don't feel much better, but I mean my current situation itself is much better. Like if you
Well,
spend
good.
I spent like few months just learning how to program and few months learning how to design and shit. And well, at least now I can at least find a job somewhere.
Hmm.
Making
Well,
making websites or making programs and such, or working on them. Well, I wouldn't be the only one who works on them, so and
well, sure.
at least that means I can eventually, if I keep on learning new things, I can just like pull my way at least,
Hmm.
and that will
Hmm.
eventually also help me, not dealing with shitty feelings the whole time.
Right.
Because I'm
Well,
putting like I'm putting my effort into something, and I'm also seeing like results, like things are being improved.
yep. It's like going to the gym. It sucks. It's boring. It's really hard in the beginning. It
Yeah,
hurts
for the
real bad.
first few months, you will not notice anything.
Nothing. But
Nothing
then
will
once
be
you
apparent.
start to see the thing, it's like, oh shit,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is
this
worth it
is
at the end.
working. Hmm.
And
Totally.
it's cool to see the result. You know, it makes it worth it. Like even though you kind of had a shitty time at the beginning, you know, when you see the results, when you see the improvement, you know that is gonna be worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Most of the time, it's gonna be worth it. And you're just gonna have a better time.
Well, and the thing that I think the trap that we 21st century citizens fall into is it's easier and more gratifying, say, and I'm guilty of,
Oh,
say,
definitely.
playing a video game.
Yeah,
It's really hard to go to the gym. It's really hard to make and maintain friends. It's really hard to be like a good, strong person. Um, and it's going to take a lot of time, but I can go sit
yeah,
down and play Elden Ring and, fight this boss for like 30 minutes and win and feel like I really accomplished something and get all
yeah,
that dopaminergic like reaction and sense of accomplishment and all the shit
yeah. I
that
mean,
I really should be doing in the real world,
you
but
should, yeah.
I'm just I'm just settling for the simulacra of
and,
pixels.
and it could be a trap. You know, eventually it will not work for you, I guess. And I know
Yeah.
you hate Jordan Peterson, but he kind of said it the best. You know, better the hypothetical dragon than the real dragon because you know things are really tough. They just gonna be really tough.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
And
but
I don't hate Jordan Peterson.
you just don't like him. You don't. I know you don't like him.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I don't really like him. I'm
but
ambivalent. I go back and forth. I think he has good points to say,
he
but
has good
I think
points. Yeah.
I like what he has to say, but I think I don't like him as a person, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Mostly like I what I like about what is like about what he does is like he's really good at putting things into words. I think so. It's not like I'm worshiping him, but like usually
Yeah, he's very
it's just
articulate
that is
indeed.
he's very articulate. Yeah, it's just
I
he's
think he's
the one that I watch the most. So I remember usually what he says more than most people.
I think he's really great at articulating situations
Mm.
and the psychology that's going on
Yeah,
in those situations, but I don't think that he's very good at telling people how to get out of them.
I think
And I
yeah,
feel like
it's very
that's
hard. Although I
and
liked
that's his whole shtick. Like
yeah,
12 rules of life or whatever, 12 more rules. But I feel like he's really good at telling you what's going on, but he doesn't really tell you what to do.
I
Clean
think
your
no one
room.
really
Like, what? Like, I get it, but like, come on, guy.
I think you know he probably know he cannot exactly tell you what to do, but like he can give you a hint. You know, it's like no one can really tell you what's going on in your own situation. You're gonna have to figure it out.
No,
Some people can give you
everything
like
is
few hints,
unique.
and you're like, oh, okay, so I could do this and that. But like if you do that, like in the same like literally do it, you know, to what it like it means, like in whatever people told you uh hold up in whatever way the people told you, you know, it's whatever they told you to do. If you do that in the literal sense, it will not exactly work for you. It might work one or two times, but not all the time,
Right,
because like they just give you a hint. It's kind of like video games. It's mostly hints. I mean, unless you play like a really stupid game that is
right.
just as straightforward as possible, which you know they can
Right.
be fun, but like at the same time I like the hints, I guess. I like
Yeah.
the hints
Well,
more.
so much like it's all like lowest common denominator, one size fits all. There we go. It's one size
Yeah,
fits all. There, like he and other people of his like will pretend that all life, all men, everyone's situation is
yeah.
exactly the same. And if you do this, and if you do this, and if you do this, everything's going to be much better. And it's like, no, that doesn't work out. Like you say, you really don't know
It could work for a
what
little
my
bit, but not for
situ.
too long.
It
Yes,
could,
yeah.
it could work,
But I
and
guess
it
it's
might
just a
work in
hint.
this aspect. It might work in this aspect, but it's not a catch-all.
Yeah, it's
You
just a
know,
hint, you know, in one
it's
way or
like these
another.
dudes. like these pickup artists
Oh
on
yeah.
YouTube or whatever, and they tell you, well, if you do this and if you do this, and become a high value man and become a this and become a that, and it's like, well, shit, if you're 5'2" and fat, like you can do all of these things and it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You,
definitely
you
wouldn't.
know, like so they're selling a product. Jordan Peterson is selling me books. These other guys are trying to get me to give them $1,000 for a consultation or like a counseling session.
Yeah.
It's like they're all trying to sell me a goddamn product. So the hope that they push
Hmm.
is a product that they sell,
Yeah.
and so I don't buy it, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, fair enough. Again, it's mostly that he's really good at articulating things. Like again, it's mostly a hint. It's not exactly what you need to know. It's just a hint of what you might need to know. But like because
Right,
of your situation is different, because you're not like anyone at all. You're gonna have to
right,
figure the shit for yourself, by yourself.
right, right.
You know.
Sort of like we were talking about the Buddhist monk asking questions that you have to figure out yourself, as opposed
Yeah.
to a Western teacher telling you 2 + 2 is 5, Johnny, or 4. Sorry, progressive America's gotten to me. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's these things that like what do you call it? The not very not linear. What is the word that you call it? They're not very straightforward. You have to figure them for yourself. It's not
Mm, right.
the tools doesn't already exist and you just have to use the tools. Like nope, you have to come up with your own tool. So
Right. You have to navigate yourself as
yeah,
opposed to navigating Peterson. Yeah.
yeah. But again, the hints are pretty useful sometimes. So I haven't watched
Yeah.
in a long time, and I kind of been just watching just dumb people doing weird podcasts, and I'm like, yeah, if that works, probably this hours like would work. So if you want to see more, just like and subscribe, I guess.
Yes. Do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep doing that. But yeah, I also been thinking. Probably. Did I talk about this last week? It's like I want to do like my own like 10 to 20 minutes rants about some random bullshit.
Oh
Like no
yeah.
one really
Mhm.
gives a shit about. It's just, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna be talking about. So still, soonish there will be at least a video that just talks about the website because like almost done. Just needs few
Well, if
testing.
you start doing that, let me know because I that will give me maybe a little bit of external motivation to do the
Oh,
same thing.
definitely. You'll
Because
be like one of the
because
first people who would see it. So don't worry about it.
and similarly, I don't know what to talk about, but again, I think you were the one that told me it's like you just have to do it. And then once
Yeah,
you
just
figure
talk.
out what you're good at, then you'll do it. Then you can just do more of that.
Yeah, I guess sometimes it works with the fuck it mentality, even though like it seems like you don't care and don't give a shit, which in one way or another you don't. But
Right.
fuck it is just
Well, all
if
the
you're not going,
YouTubers say
if
start. They say
yeah,
you're not going to be ready. You're never going to be ready. Everything is ever going to be perfect. You
oh, it's
just
like
gotta go.
I
It's like
heard
this
that joke
podcast.
before. Yeah, I think like I heard that joke before. It's like where when a guy is just waiting for the perfect moment to go
Mm,
talk to a girl. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't exist. I
nope.
heard that joke before. I'm not sure where, but you're not gonna have the perfect time. And
I love that you
yeah,
refer to that as a joke.
it literally was a joke, but it's
Okay.
actually reality.
Right. Because I've done that a lot. Like whether it's something serious, whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's like I'm just gonna wait for the perfect moment, and it's just like.
A
But
perfect
again,
moment doesn't
that's
exist.
that's movies and that's books. That's so much media
I mean,
that has
that's why it's
imprinted
called.
upon me.
Yeah, that's why it's called like imagination. Like it doesn't actually
Right.
exist, but it's like your imagination is broadly the what do you call it? The most not most optimal, but like the ideal situation that you want to have. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but you
Mm-hmm.
can never reach the ideal. You just always below it. The
Right.
ideal
We're
is something
always
you never
right
reach.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's fine. That's just how things are. Perfect work is never done.
Mm-hmm. Well, I honestly feel like I love like I'm a theater person, as you know, and
Mm.
as you all probably know by this point. But I grew up loving musical theater. And I don't know if like the idyllic situation exists more anywhere else than it does in musical theater, because you can watch The Notebook or whatever sort of romantic movie you can, but when you watch like some Broadway musicals and everything is just so perfectly crafted and choreographed, and the lyrics and the music and everything is just so, the romance
I would
is
probably agree
real.
with you on that. Like maybe also like when it comes to um if people like just like acting on, I don't know what you call it. It's like when you're doing acting on the stage like in front of people, that probably is probably
Theater.
also the most perfect. Yeah, mostly. So I
But the
think
way that
music is
exposure,
probably more perfect because you have more time and more people just agreeing on one thing at the same time to
yeah,
act a specific role each, so that
yeah.
it would
Well,
literally look perfect. And if you look at things like
and
rituals and such, it's literally the same. It's
oh
kind of a
sure,
ritual.
and the way music literally just gets inside of us
Yeah.
too. So where something might be emotional without music, when you add in the music, then it's just that much more of a like an experience. But yeah, all of that for years and decades primed me for this relationship or something. Some person is going to walk into my life, and the music is going to swell, and I'm going to want to just like sing, and the whole world is going to stop, and she's going to love it, and and I'm going to love it, and it's going to be this whole thing. And it's like, oh no, you don't. None of that is
It
real.
doesn't happen. That doesn't
Not
happen.
never.
And I think it's funny. I think it is funny, the fact that you probably want it, but you also know that you will never have it. I think it's funny. It has a little bit of funny element. You want something, you
Hold on.
that's like
Your
you're just being
audio's
stupid.
your audio's
Oh,
getting fucked up. Hold on.
give me. Oh, okay. Uh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, it's alright.
Hmm. So then continue. Sorry about that.
Uh, I, I was saying like for me, it's kind of funny. Like it has a little bit of comedic element. The fact that you would really want something it's never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally perfection is unreachable, because
Mm-hmm.
because you uh, an imperfect creature,
Right.
but you always want the perfection. And I think probably perfection is probably the divine, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
You
the
know,
realization, like you say that it's funny, and I guess I sort of agree. Not like ha ha funny, but it is kind of funny. But the thing is
it
I think
is.
waking up to the fact
Oh
that,
wait,
oh,
give me a second.
sorry.
My audio got fucked. I don't know how long this has been going about. Give me a second. I'm gonna stop recording for a second.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey,
All
I've
right.
got to get going here in a little bit, so if shit doesn't
Should I
show
do
up.
an outro?
Sure, sure, sure.
All right. Okay. So fuck it. We're gonna do. Oh, my bad. And let me look at the camera. All right. Hello. Okay. Not hello. I'm gonna cut this.
Goodbye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This was the episode number 7 of the Simple Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the topics, the random topics. We've been all over the place. I may or may not look into actually scheduling and having things to talk about, but I'm too ignorant to actually attempt that.
It's a work in progress.
Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, work in progress. Maybe in the next 2 years. Uh, we hope to see you in the next one. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Up until then, if you want to see more or be notified, you can subscribe on YouTube. Maybe I'll upload this to Spotify or somewhere else. Until now, it's gonna only exist on YouTube. Thank you and have a good night.
All right. God damn this bottle of wine. God damn you. Get. Why? Oh my god. Okay.
I'm sorry, that was the funniest shit.
Just there we
Doesn't
go.
want to leave your hand.
God damn. Okay.
Oh, oh, that was amazing.